guys, I'm back! And apparently today everybody wants to freaking fly an airplane, so you're gonna hear a lot of airplane noises in the background. So you're probably wondering, Cathy, where have you been? Honestly, I've just been chilling in bed, stressing about exams, dying. But don't worry, I am back, better than ever. And guess what? It's my 1 month anniversary of starting to make videos. Well, the anniversary was on the 4th, and I skipped that week because I needed to, get my mind together, I need to remind myself I need to take a break because, reading up on all of these true crimes and stuff, it really messes with you. You see, I'm the type of person that's super curious, so I'm always looking at, dead bodies and their photos and, stuff like that, so. Oh my gosh, how many airplanes are gonna fly by? This is probably, the 12th time I've heard an airplane fly by in the past 5 minutes. It just keeps going. And I'm like, actually, what if I look outside and it's the zombie apocalypse? Well, this is my last video. Okay, just kidding. Are you guys doing okay? I hope so. It's been a crazy month. It's December, so my birthday is in a couple weeks. Am I gonna make a video? Probably. I don't know. Because, okay, I'm just rambling now. Anyways, so let's get started. Cue intro now. So you guys know that every Saturday, well, most every Saturday, sometimes, I don't know, I record on Saturdays, so I try to aim for my video to be released on Saturday, my true crime videos. So I try, and usually releases really late. I don't know, late Saturday. But yeah, no, I'm gonna try my best to do it a little bit earlier. Right now it's 11:50, so I might get it done by today. So let's get started, and let's start talking about the case. So make sure you're in your comfy PJs, and for me, my PJs are big oversized t-shirts that usually have a little anime design. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's cheap at Walmart. It's $7 for a t-shirt, so. And it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cute. Look, it's Naruto. Oh, there's a stain. But yeah, let's get in our comfy PJs. I don't have my spooky dooky earrings on because I completely forgot to put them on. But yeah, let's get into our comfy bed. And let's get comfy with Cathy. I don't know how to do the... What is this? Vogue? Is this Vogue? Yeah, it's Vogue, right? It's Vogue. Oh my gosh, what kind of intro is this? Crazy. Oh, I forgot to mention that I did choose a winner for the $25 gift card, and I'll be sending it out to her pretty soon. I just haven't gotten the time yet. It's finals week, and it's just crazy. But I did choose a winner already, and she has been contacted. So thank you for everyone that had participated in this contest. Don't worry, there's going to be another contest pretty soon. I'm thinking up ideas of my next giveaway. So don't worry. Don't worry. If you didn't win this time, maybe you'll win next time. So, like I said, don't worry. It's all good. It's all good. So today, I want to talk to you guys about Richard Chase. He's also known as the Vampire of Sacramento. So warning, viewer discretion is advised. Some viewers may find the details that I will be explaining very disturbing. This case is not for everyone, and it's okay. If it's too gory for you, don't worry about it. Just click out of this video and just watch one of my other videos, because this one is a doozy. Oh, and shout out to Dana for giving me, today's topic. So, hey! So Richard Trenton Chase was born in May 23rd, 1950 in Santa Clara, California. Santa Clara. Is this Santa Clara? Santa Clara. One of those. It was said that Richard was born into a very abusive household, mainly from his dad. Usually the father figure in these kind of cases are very abusive. And so it was said that he was always beaten by his father. At the early age of 10, Richard started showing like the McDonald triad symptoms. This is whenever he started experimenting and torturing and killing animals. Yeah, at the age of 10. So then at the age of 12, that is whenever he started having family issues. I wasn't really sure what kind of issues they were having. I just know it wasn't good. And it got to the point that his mother started getting kind of worried, and she was just like, all right, I'm taking you to the psychiatrist because, honey, you need help. You gotta. So she ended up taking him to 2 different psychiatrists to see if there's a different opinion, and it's reasonable. Sometimes, if you go to one doctor, they'll say something completely different from another doctor. So reasonable. Whenever he turned to the age of 13, that's whenever he started having interest in, arson, where he started burning things. He just liked fire. Okay, that is a big no-no sign right there. That is like, also at the age of 13, that's whenever he had the interest of drinking alcohol. That developed into alcoholism, and he started becoming addicted to it. I guess he just enjoyed the feeling of being drunk. But whenever he got into high school, he didn't really have any issues with a social life. He had many girlfriends at the time, but let's just say the relationships didn't really last long. Comes to find out that the girlfriends he had at the time were not able to, turn him on. He had issues with his, peener, and he was having issues getting it up. It's normal, that happens, but, his relationships didn't last that long because they were not able to be sexually active. So whenever he told his psychiatrists about these issues he's having, they explained to him that he probably has an erectile dysfunction and that he was not able to get turned on because he had suppressed emotions and anger that just blocked him from being able to come erect, basically. And after he heard this from his psychiatrist, he was like, whatever. No, that's not the problem. And he just decided never to go back ever again. I'm doing a lot of this. I think from the Vogue thing, now my hand won't stop. So I'm just gonna hold it right down here. So later on, once he got the information that he was unable to get erect from, having these kind of relationships, he found out he was able to get aroused by killing and torturing animals and also thinking about necrophilia. If you don't know what necrophilia is, it's basically having an interest in having sex with a dead body. Here comes the plane again. Do you guys hear that? And it's so loud. What is going on? Oh my gosh. So fast forward to his adult life. Apparently a little bit before then, he actually moved out of his mother's house. But then later when he became an adult, he moved back into his mother's house. But it didn't last that long. He believed that a Nazi crime syndicate that was haunting him from high school was paying his mother to murder him using poison. What? So then later his dad just eventually purchased a apartment for Richard. And yeah, no, I guess they couldn't have him around the house anymore. So they were like, bye. So when he was by himself in his apartment, that is when he started to kill more animals and torture more animals and, just... But do you know what he did with those animals other than kill and torture them? He would take their internal organs and blend it into a smoothie and then drink it. Yeah, gross. Dude, what are you doing? So he believed that drinking the animal's internal organs and blood would prevent his heart from shrinking. He was afraid that his heart was going to shrink and disappear, and that was the way he was going to die. So, yeah. So, in 1975, Richard was finally institutionalized because he was taken to the hospital for blood poisoning. Apparently, he was injecting his veins with rabbit's blood because he thought that it was going to promote his heart's growth. So this is where they diagnosed him with paranoid schizophrenia. So in the hospital, Richard was claiming that someone had stolen his pulmonary artery, his blood was turning into powder, and his head was changing shape. So later on, while he was institutionalized, he was able to escape the hospital. And you know what he did? He went to his mother's house. Yeah, he went to Mama's. It's okay. He went to Mama's. And this is where he got arrested and taken to the institution for the criminally insane. So in this institution, he was telling the staff, like, he was visualizing and fantasizing killing rabbits. Yeah, those poor little rabbits. They're so cute. What's wrong? It's like every serial killer, they go for rabbits or dogs or cats. Like, just, I don't know, go for a tree. No, there's not a lot of trees left. Don't go for trees. Just don't kill. Yeah, don't. You know what? Try stabbing at water. Isn't that satisfying? You can stab at water. I don't know. So while he was in this institution for the criminally insane, one day he was able to stick his hand, I guess, outside of the guardrails and snatch up 2 birds. Yeah, they were sitting on the thingy-majiggy. So when he got these birds, he snapped their necks, sucked out their blood, and you know what else he did? He would take the blood and just smear it all over himself, like around the face and stuff, and then show it to the staff. You have to have big balls to work there. I would be afraid. Like after this incident, the staff, they had a secret name for him, and it was Dracula. Like he's resembling Dracula pretty well. Just imagine, like, you're working and you turn around and one of the customers or whatever has blood all over their face, and they're just like holding up dead birds, and they're like, look what I did. Yeah, no, I'll freak out. Okay, I'll freak out. So during his stay, he went through battery treatments that involved psychotropic drugs. And in 1976, they claimed that he was no longer a danger to society and the people around him. Alright. He was soon later released under the care of his mother, and his mother decided that he no longer needed his anti-schizophrenia medicine, so she started to wean him off and say goodbye to the drugs. I know you guys know where this is going, so what is she doing? So after a while of living with his parents, they decided to get him another apartment. And this is where his behavior started to become a lot worse. He started to move up and kill and torture bigger animals and drink their blood. Like, when I say big animals, I'm saying like bigger dogs, bigger cats. At one point, he ended up capturing one of his neighbor's pets, killing them, drinking their blood, and then he would call them and tell them what he had done to their pet. So around this time, this is where he developed having a fascination of firearms, and he would obsessively practice with like handguns and, pretending to shoot at the wall and things like that. How did he get a gun? I don't know. He also became really fascinated with the Hillside Strangler. And you're probably wondering, who's the Hillside Strangler? So, the Hillside Strangler is a man named Kenneth, I believe. Kenneth? Something like that. And he worked with his cousin to commit 15 rapes and murders. That's another story I'm probably going to talk about soon. So Richard also believed that the Hillside Strangler was also a victim of the Nazi and UFO conspiracy that he was going through. So he's like, I can relate, I can relate. This is probably like my best friend. My only friend. So while he was living alone in his apartment, he stopped caring about his personal hygiene, meaning like he stopped taking showers, stopped brushing his teeth, and he even stopped eating, like other than drinking the bloods and eating or blending up the other animals' internal organs and drinking it. He ended up losing 145 pounds. not a really good diet trend. I don't think that'll catch on, right? That's not a $1 million idea right there. No? Okay, no. Moving on. One day in 1977, Richard ended up going to his mother's house. And when he knocked on the door and she opened the door, he ended up showing her like a dead cat, like holding the cat like this, and then started thrusting it against his mom. And then he would smear the cat's blood over. This is not funny. I'm sorry. He would proceed. I gotta stop laughing. I'm trying not to laugh. He would proceed to take the dead cat's blood and smear it all over his face and just start screaming. And his mom just closed the door and she was like, nope. And she never told it to anybody else ever. She never even spoke of the event that happened until like later on when she was being interviewed. Oh my gosh. On August 3rd, 1977, the police found Richard's Ford Ranchero stuck inside of a sand drift near Pyramid Lake, Nevada. And inside of his car were 2 rifles. How did he get 2 rifles? I don't know. A pile of clothes and a bucket full of blood. Oh, and also a caliber. When the officers found Richard, he was covered in blood from head to toe, just dripping of blood and just screaming. Just screaming. Oh, also another note, he was completely naked. Whenever the officers, they questioned him, they were like, why are you covered in blood? Whose blood is it? Richard claimed that it was his own blood that leaked out of his flesh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even think the police like arrested him. I think they couldn't arrest him because it wasn't human blood. And you know, I would have done a wellness check on him just to make sure he's okay. I don't know. I guess the cops were freaked out. I would have been so scared, you know, just I would have been like, nah, it's okay. I don't see nothing. It's good. It's all good. He looks fine. That's probably what they did. Anyways, on December 27th, 1977, Richard shot his .22 caliber, and that bullet went straight into a house of a Sacramento woman. The police were able to find the bullet that entered the woman's house, but you know, it didn't kill anybody and no one was injured, so they didn't really look too far into the situation. A couple days later, on December 29th, 1977, that is when Richard struck his first victim. Apparently, he killed his first victim by using the drive-by method, so he just drove by and shot his gun. Yeah, he just drove by and just shot his gun. He later claimed that this was a warm-up method for his future crimes that he was going to commit. The victim's name was Ambrose Griffin. He was 51 years old, an engineer, and a father of 2 children. At the time of his murder, he was just helping his wife bring in groceries, and he was shot in the back and died. One of his sons claimed that he saw a person walking around the neighborhood with a .22 rifle. The police went to investigate that person, and it was not the same bullet that was used to kill their father. They were able to identify that the bullet was the same bullet that was used to shoot inside that Sacramento's woman's house a couple days earlier. So they figured that the same person that shot that bullet is most likely the person that shot Ambrose. On January 17th, 1978, Richard went to his neighbor's house and was just like, hey, can I have a cigarette? I guess the neighbor did give him a cigarette, but he wanted the whole pack, so he ended up forcefully restraining her until she gave him the whole entire thing. About 2 weeks later, he started to walk around a neighborhood. So he spotted a lady's house and he started walking around this lady's house and he tried to see if there was any windows or doors unlocked, but he wasn't able to find any windows or doors unlocked. So whenever he figured that, he just walked away. So he later told detectives that since the doors were locked, that he was not given permission to come inside the house. So whenever he was wandering around the neighborhood, he bumped into a colleague from high school named Nancy Holden. He asked her for a ride, but she told him no because she was afraid of his appearance. She said that he didn't smell good, he didn't dress nice, and she was just scared of his presence. While he was wandering around the neighborhood, he went to a young married couple's house and broke in. He was able to steal a couple of their things, then proceeded to urinate in one of their baby's drawers. And then after he was finished urinating in the drawer, he went to one of their son's beds and pooped on their bed. So when the couple got home, whenever they got home, Richard was still in the house. The husband decided to attack him, and Richard was able to escape. After this invasion, he went and wandered around the neighborhood to look for more houses to invade. This is when he came across the house of David and Teresa Wallens. David was at work while Teresa was 3 months pregnant and taking out the trash, leaving her front door unlocked. And this is where Richard, slithered into the house. He ended up shooting Teresa 3 times. He shot her once in the hand. It was most likely because she was trying to block the bullet, and 2 times in the head. I believe the first shot to the head was completely fatal, so she died instantly, and the other one was also fatal as well. So if she did survive the first bullet, the second bullet was the one that... It was later confirmed that the same handgun he used to kill Ambrose was also used on Teresa. Richard dragged her body into her bedroom, and while raping her body, he was also stabbing her with a butcher's knife. When he finished, he opened up her body and captured her blood into a bucket and bathed in her blood in the bathroom. He then sliced her nipple and used a yogurt cup as a drinking glass to drink her blood. Before he left, he saw a pile of dog feces outside in her yard. He decided to pick it up, bring it back into the house, and stuff it down her mouth and throat. On January 23rd, 1978, about a couple days later after he murdered Teresa Wallen, Richard had purchased 2 puppies from his neighbor. He later killed and drank the blood of the puppies and then put the puppies' dead bodies back onto the neighbor's lawn. I would move. And on January 27th, 1978, Richard committed his final murder. He entered a 38-year-old woman's house named Evelyn Muroff, who was also babysitting her almost 2-year-old nephew, David. At the house, Evelyn's 6-year-old son and her neighbor, Dan Meredith, was also inside the house. So in total, that was like 4 people in that house at that time. So it was Evelyn, David, Jason, and Dan. While Evelyn was taking a shower, Dan was watching over the children, and that is when Richard entered the house. I think immediately Richard shot Dan like that. There was not a lot of information on that other than Dan was killed first. So whenever Richard killed Dan, he rolled over his body and stole his ID and his wallet, also his car keys as well. Jason ran into his mother's bedroom. Richard followed and shot Jason twice in the head. Richard entered the bathroom that Evelyn was using to take a shower and shot her once in the head. He dragged her body onto her bed and then proceeded to sodomize her. Once he did that, he ended up drinking her blood by making slits on the back of her neck. When medical examiners observed the corpse, they were able to find inconsistent amount of semen in her rectum. So that meant he ejaculated more than once when he sodomized her. So once he was finished drinking the blood and also, doing his thing, he ended up stabbing her about 6 times in the stomach area, and he ended up penetrating the uterus as well. So that's a very hard, stabbing. So while he was stabbing her, he was also hitting points that were super vital, and it caused like a lot of blood to gush out. And from there, he proceeded to drink more of her blood. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that he did also kill David, the almost 2-year-old nephew, by shooting the baby in the back of the head once. So whenever he was done with Evelyn, he went to go get David, bring his body into the bathroom, into the bathtub, and crack open his skull and proceeded to eat some of the brain matter. So outside, there was a 6-year-old girl that came over to have a play date with Jason. And whenever she knocked on the door, that's what scared the little girl. And Richard ran out of the house. And because he stole Dan's keys, he was able to get in a car to run. The little girl was super smart, and she ran to the neighbor's house and was just like, oh my gosh, call 911. There was a man that was inside the house, call 911. Super smart girl. So smart. If anything ever happens to you guys like this, go to your neighbors, call 911. Even if you have bad beef with your neighbors, I don't know, just figure it out. Go to another neighbor's house, but call 911. So whenever the little girl went to the neighbor's house, the neighbors came over to the house of Evelyn's, and they broke into the house. Whenever they broke into the house, that's where they found every single person inside the house was dead. And they immediately contacted the authorities. When the authorities came into the house, they noticed that Richard left a perfect footprint of his shoe in the blood of Evelyn. Richard ended up taking home David's corpse and using his penis as a drinking straw to drink the blood out of David's body. He sliced the corpse open and used the internal organs to make a smoothie for himself, and once he was done, he threw away David's corpse at a nearby church. After the murder of Teresa Wallin, 2 FBI agents were assigned to this case, and they assumed that the killer would be completely malnourished, a white male, and didn't take care of their hygiene. So they were pretty on the dot about this. They knew who they were looking for. 5 days before the mass murder, Nancy Holden actually contacted the police, and she said that she assumed that Richard was the murderer of Teresa Wallins. This kind of, sparked a little on the case. The police ran a background check on Richard Chase, and they saw that he was registered for a .22 caliber semi-automatic pistol. The detectives decided to go to Richard's apartment, and when they got there, they asked if they can speak with him. Richard said no. So you know what the detectives did? They just hid at the end of the hallway, and they waited for him to leave. Once Richard left his apartment, that's when they rushed in, pinned him down, and they were able to find Dan's wallet on Richard's body. The detectives and other police officers, whenever they were searching Richard's apartment, they were able to find so many internal organs, smoothies, and all sorts of different things in the house. For example, they found David's brain inside a Tupperware in the fridge. And also they found several different animal parts wrapped in aluminum foil, and on the wall, utensils and stuff like that. It was just all drenched and covered in blood. Kid you not, they found some of David's body parts, Teresa's, and Evelyn's body parts inside the apartment wrapped in saran wrap. In 1979, Richard stood in trial for 6 murders that he had committed. In order to try to avoid the death penalty, he was said that he had a mental illness and that this was second-degree murder, and that there was no way that any of this was premeditated. On May 8th, 1979, Richard Chase was found guilty for all 6 counts for first-degree murder. The judge determined that Richard was not mentally ill and that he would die in a gas chamber. While waiting for his death, he actually committed suicide by saving up so many pills and taking it all at once, and just ended up committing suicide. So yeah, that was the end of that. I know, what a shitty ending, right? Like, there's no justice in it. I don't feel like there was any justice for it, especially for the way that he killed all of his victims. No way any of this was just, I don't know. Committing suicide after doing all of this, it's so weak. You know, you go in strong and then you kill all these people, and then all of a sudden you turn around and then you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna commit suicide. I don't care. No, I don't think it's fair. I highly suggest you guys research this case. There's more to it than I can actually say on YouTube, but it's really interesting. There are crime scene photos out there on the case. So that's just another viewer discretion right there. I obviously can't post it on YouTube because I'll probably get taken down like instantly, but this was a crazy case, and it's hard for me to even talk about it without visualizing all of this. So yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this videos. If you guys want me to talk about anything else later next week, I do have a case already for next week, but I obviously would love more suggestions and stuff. If you have any suggestions for me, please comment down below. Give this video a like, subscribe, share, whatever. I love making these videos, and also I got new lights to make these videos. I don't know if there's any difference, but yeah. But anyways, I'll see you guys soon. Actually, I think Monday. Yeah. See you later. Bye.